In today's video, I'll tell you how Zion Williamson, a guy who's played only a fraction of the season, can still win the NBA Rookie of the Year. There's been a lot of talk lately about who will win Rookie of the Year. Is it going to be Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans? Or is it going to be Ja Morant, the starting point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies? And besides those two guys, that's it. It is a two-man race. And the first few months of the season, it looked like Ja was just going to completely run away with this award. It was more than just his awesome dunks and his crisp and cool passes. He was just putting up incredible numbers. And at the time, we didn't even know if Zion was going to play this year at all because he was injured. Well, Zion did come back in late January, and hey, he himself is also having an incredible season. You know, if we're being honest, his numbers are actually better than Ja Morant's. So it's making a lot of people rethink the Rookie of the Year race. But here's the question. Can you really reward a guy who was injured for the majority of the season, even if he is just playing out of his mind right now? And if Zion actually were to win Rookie of the Year, it would make history. And that's what we're talking about today. So welcome back to the Half Court Report, everybody. My name is Troy. Before we get into it, though, if you like the NBA, if you like deep dives into teams and players, do consider subscribing to the channel. This is still a new channel, and I would appreciate all of your support. Okay, so as I was saying, Zion has been playing out of his mind. Just exactly how good is Zion right now? Well, among rookies, he's first in points, he's first in rebounds, he's shooting almost 60% from the field. His PER, the player efficiency rating, is a 25. Now keep in mind, league average is 15. His is about 25, and he's doing all of this in about 30 minutes per game. Oh, and also, he's one of the youngest players in the entire league. So he's got all those things going for him when you argue that he should be Rookie of the Year. But just this week, basketball YouTuber Mike Korzimba said on Twitter, if Zion keeps at his current pace for the remaining 20 games of the season and the Pelicans make the playoffs, then you got to give the award to Zion. And then you had some people commenting, here's one, it's pretty simple at this point. Whichever Rook ends up in the 8th spot pretty much gets it. Talking about the playoff seedings in the Western Conference. Another comment, co-award has to happen. You'll remember that happened with Grant Hill and Jason Kidd back in the 90s. It also happened with Steve Francis and Elton Brand. Then you have another comment, giving the Rookie of the Year to Zion would be like giving Finals MVP to a player who has played only in Game 7, which is a pretty interesting point. I think all those comments have merit, but I also want to take a deep dive into it by looking at a few different things. Player production, team performance, and games played. So let's look at those and let's see what history tells us and then compare that to what we know about Zion. So when you go back and look at all the players who have won Rookie of the Year all the way back to the 1952-1953 season, the first thing that stands out is these guys who won Rookie of the Year played 70 to 80 games in their respective years. And that's the pace that Ja Morant is on right now. There are a few outliers, though, and that's what I'm going to focus on today, because if Zion were to win, he would be the biggest outlier ever, because no one has ever played fewer than 50 games in a full season and won the Rookie of the Year award. So right off the bat, I'm going to throw out two players. First is Vince Carter. He played 50 games and won Rookie of the Year, but it was in the lockout-shortened 1998-1999 season. So he actually played every game that year. It was just a shortened season. Next, I'm going to throw out Kyrie Irving, who won the award in the 2011-2012 season. That was also a shortened season with only 67 games. He played a total of 51 games that year. So all things being equal, he didn't play as many as Vince, but it was still about 75% of the games that year, which would equal out to around 60 games in a regular season. That's still below what we'd normally see, but not completely out of line to win the Rookie of the Year award. Kyrie, he also had a nice year. He averaged 18.5 points, roughly 4 rebounds, about 4 assists. And the rookie class that year was fairly weak. He didn't have much competition. So when we look at players whose rookie seasons weren't in a lockout year, the first one you have to look at is Brandon Roy, who won it in the 2006-2007 season. And he only played 57 games that year. And that was out of 82. So when this happened, I actually remember kind of thinking, okay, does he deserve this? I kind of did a double take because he missed about a month of game time during the first part of the season. And the 57 games that he played would end up being the lowest in about 20 years for a Rookie of the Year winner. But like Kyrie, he also had a really good year, about 17 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal a game. And his team, the Trailblazers, they really weren't that terrible either. They had a record of 32-50, and it was an 11-game improvement from the previous year. So this next one is the most controversial. Patrick Ewing, he won the award in the 1985-1986 season. So here were Ewing's stats from that year. His rookie year, 20 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, just over 2 blocks, and he played 50 games during that season. So let's look at all this through the lens of Zion. If Zion is going to win Rookie of the Year, he needs to do these 4 things. First, he has to get the Pelicans to the playoffs. If he doesn't do that, then there's absolutely no way he should win the award. I think when you have 2 guys that are having really good seasons, like Ja and Zion, you need to factor in team performance and how much better the player makes the team. Otherwise, you're just looking at potential empty stats. Number 2, Zion needs to average 22 points per game over his remaining games, so about 20 games left. One advantage Zion has over Ja Morant right now is that teams haven't been able to scout for him or adjust to him as much since he's played so many fewer games. Because Ja actually had a bit of a stretch after about the first month or 2 of the season where his numbers were down a little bit because teams were making adjustments. Now, Ja is able to make the adjustments against the adjustments that the other teams are making, as great players do. If Zion can adjust to the different schemes he's going to be seeing over the next 2 months and continue to put up those monster numbers, then I think his Rookie of the Year candidacy becomes a little bit more viable. Third thing, he needs to average 8 rebounds for his remaining games. He's at 7 now. If he's going to win that Rookie of the Year award, he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to work harder. He's going to have to get a couple more rebounds a game. And finally, last thing, he can miss no more than 2 games the rest of the season. So that would put him at 35 games played for the year. That's still less than half. Maybe some folks are saying 2 games is too many. You might say he can't miss anymore. I see completely where your head's at. But I'm going to give him some leeway and say he can only miss 2 more games. So to recap, Zion, in order to win Rookie of the Year, in my view, make the playoffs, average 22 points, average 8 rebounds over the rest of the season, and miss no more than 2 games. If Zion doesn't do these 4 things, then I really don't see how you can give him the award. That's as simple as that. So what do you think? I'd love to hear who you think should be Rookie of the Year in the comments. Let me know. Once again, if you like videos like this, if you like the NBA, if you like analysis and deep dives, please consider subscribing to this channel and turn on those notifications. Till next time, that's all I've got for today. My name is Troy, and this is the Half Court Report. Hey guys, one more thing. Here's some more videos to check out on the Half Court Report channel. I hope you like them, and thanks for watching.